And let's be really clear to our audience, right? If you're not familiar with this money, this isn't some generic federal funds going into an account that New York can do whatever they want. This is quite literally and specifically the Shelter and Services Program grant by FEMA, a federal entity, to help set off a certain number of allowable costs incurred from non citizen migrant arrivals in those communities after they have been released from federal custody. So this is the federal government saying, hey, at times we're going to release people, right? Subject to some court date or subject to some other action. This is money for you, so they're not just roaming around your streets like homeless in the meantime, right? And so, this goes to this issue of finality. You might disagree that the release should have happened into the communities to begin with. You might disagree about the shelter and services program, but this is what we would have previously understood to be a final payment transaction for a legal and authorized program in the past that the government is now just playing Calvin ball and saying, like, JK, we're taking it back.
And notice it's not just like a ready-made program established thing. It is ordered by Congress. This is congressional appropriations. Yeah. These are payments ordered by Congress, budgeted for FEMA. When we say money is budgeted towards FEMA, all that really means is that ultimately the Bureau of the Fiscal Service is authorized to process payments from FEMA up to a certain amount, because FEMA doesn't have its own bank account. These bank accounts are centralized in Treasury for the most part. There's a few here or there.
Yeah,
we'll extract from that complication. For FEMA, the bank account that they have access to is essentially the Treasury's bank account. So if Congress appropriates the money, but then DOGE and the DOGE people at Treasury decide no FEMA payments are going to go out, that agency just ceases to function, ceases to have any payments, ceases to have a budget effectively when that budget has been ordered by Congress. And this is why what happened with USAID, which is like an international aid organization, it's more complicated at the margins, but like I said, why what happened there is so important is that's literally what they did. They just shut off the payments coming out of USAID. They shut down now, of course, partly that was through taking over the building. It's important to understand that agency, like for all intents and purposes, doesn't exist because all these payments have been shut off. Like the ability to shut off payments going out is the ability to just completely abrogate congressional appropriations and make agencies effectively not exist.